I just heard that one, but I don't know what you need me to do. Hey, what's up? What's up, man? It's your guy, Ken the Google. You're now tuned in to my take, and we're having a little bit of difficulties. I was trying to make sure everything was right and on before I started. So, what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about Pauli Malignaggi, and based off uh, his interview that he had, and I'm actually playing with y'all, and as I'm playing it, we're gonna go along and just basically give my perspective on what I think, you know what I'm saying, like is a double standard with Paulie Malignaggi. You know what I'm saying? So um he basically, addressed the Devin Haney situation, and he gave his perspective. But the part that a lot of people wasn't really paying attention to was that the double standard that he, addressed just for a second is was one that he, was displaying. Devin Haney said something. Y'all get on Devin Haney about what he stated. Then, you make this big uproar. But Paul Malignaggi, him saying, European are the dominant ones, and saying all these false statements and stuff like that. I want to see if there's going to be an uproar about that. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna allow Paulie Malignaggi, to talk, and then I'm just gonna be giving my perspective. I'm gonna be pausing and then stopping, just to give my perspective. So let's start it. Viable opponent that he would be fighting. Campbell. I don't think he was talking about Lomachenko. But I think when you're in your early 20s. So I'm gonna stop it right there. So basically, one of the things, and I'm not gonna keep stopping it so soon. He said that Devin Haney was talking about Campbell, not Lomachenko, even though he's been going on Twitter asking to fight Lomachenko. He said he didn't want the belt for Lomachenko. He didn't want the belt to be given from Lomachenko. He wanted to fight Lomachenko and have the actual fight so he can earn. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying that he's not talking about uh, Lomachenko. Last time I checked, even in here, you call Lomachenko a white fighter. So he said he won't let no white fighter beat him. So obviously he was talking about Lomachenko. But let's get into it, man. We don't express that very well. It's not it's not something that's that great to make racial and
2020, especially with so many racial tensions in the world and whatnot. But I certainly like to see him and Luke Campbell fight. I think it'd be a good fight.
I would too. I would definitely like to.
Luke Campbell has fought better fighters than Devin Haney. Devin Haney has not fought anybody better than Luke Campbell. So I do think it will be a step up for Devin, and I think it will be an interesting fight because Devin has been solidly improving as he moves his way up the ladder. I think with them both being with Hearn, I think that it's an easily makeable fight. So that way, you actually see if the fight does not get made, it's because Hearn is trying to protect Haney from Campbell and not the other way.
Wow. So he basically was giving him a backhand compliment. I don't even know what to say. Wow. All right. So Pauli Malignaggi, as they always do, Devin Haney wants to fight Lomachenko, but then they throw somebody in front of him to deter the fight. Right? And he said that Devin Haney was ducking Luke Campbell. That's pretty much what he said. I mean, last time I checked, supposedly Lomachenko was supposed to be the better fighter. So how would Devin Haney be ducking? How would he be ducking Campbell? It don't even make sense for him to say that. You know what I'm saying? Basically, what he was doing, he was giving Devin Haney a backhand compliment. You know what I'm saying? Like he has this disdain for him. He feels some type of way because he will be considered as a white individual, and he didn't like the fact that Devin Haney don't see himself losing to somebody like him. So I mean, like you can tell as we go further along into this um, interview that Paulie Malignaggi, he has some type of emotional feelings in this because he's talking about in the 20th century bringing up racial is basically is bad, which it is, right? But is it worse that it's to continue to happen? Is talking about the problem worse than it actually happened? That's the question I need answered. But let's continue.
Because really Hearn has nothing to protect Campbell from. Campbell's fought everybody at this point. He fought Lomachenko, he fought Linares. He's not the youngest guy anymore. So if there's a chance to be taken with Campbell, you just take it if that's your guy, if that's your money guy. If Haney's always your money guy, then you kind of pick and choose because he's still younger. Now, Haney has not stepped up to the Campbell range yet. Haney has been a fighter who has been pretty good fighters, but he's not stepped up to the level of a Campbell yet. So I think the fight could be made. I think it would be a good fight, but if the fight does not get made, then we all know why it didn't get made. It's to protect Haney. It's not to protect Campbell.
All right, so I definitely disagree with that one. So we already know that Devin Haney was supposed to fight Campbell. We already know that, right? In fact, remember, Devin they gave Lomachenko the fight over Devin Haney, so he was supposed to then fight him for the WBC strap. Remember, he was supposed to already have that fight, but they gave it to Lomachenko, and then basically after he had fought, they gave him the round. They gave him the franchise champion belt, and then he was supposed to fight Fortuna. So now it's like one of those situations to where he can still fight Campbell, and he wants to. And when I watched the interview, Campbell sounded hesitant to fight Devin Haney, and people forgetting about that. We talk about double standards, and he talking about racism is gone in the sport of boxing, and talking about it, is causing a divide. There's been a divide. How did Devin Haney not get the opportunity to fight Campbell for the WC belt, WBC belt? They took that from Haney. And then you talk about there's no racial divide, like making it seem like somebody is just looking at things from a racial perspective, and like black people are the ones that's keeping this uproar going. And then gonna say Devin Haney don't want to fight, and he's the one that's ducking, and you giving people that's following you false information, because we all know that Devin Haney initially wanted to be the one to fight Campbell for that belt. And everybody knows that he is definitely calling Lomachenko out. And Lomachenko is not answering the call. But when Lopez, who has less fights than Devin Haney, called out Lomachenko, now all of a sudden they're supposed to be making that fight. What's the coincidence? Could it be that every other ethnicity get the fights that they want when they want, except for black individuals? We can go to Triple G. We can go to whether it's Tyson Fury. We can go to name it. We can go to Canelo. We can go to Teofimo Lopez. We can go to Ryan. You know what I'm saying? Garcia. We can go to any non-black fighter and see that they don't get the fights that they want when they want, like the European fighters. Just like Gil Marigadal wanted to fight Lomachenko at a catch weight. He didn't get the catch weight. Lomachenko made him come up 2 weight classes, and he got the fight when he wanted. Name a black fighter that can do that. That can get any fight outside of Floyd Mayweather when he wants it. Name it. Name him. I'm curious to know who that person is, man. Let's continue, man.
But as far as not beating, not losing to a white guy, I mean, I don't know how to take that at this point. I think I'll say like this. Sorry, I'll kind of say like I'll put it this way. I think that boxing has had its course in history with certain.
Hold on. All right. So the reason why Pauli Malignaggi made that statement when he said that Devin Haney said that he would never lose to a white boy, he didn't know how to take that. Because when Devin Haney made that statement, that made him reflect on himself. And he, as well as other non-black fighters, has an issue, like I stated, when black people have confidence in themselves, it becomes a problem to them. What is the issue with a fighter feeling like no other ethnicity can beat him? That's just like saying Canelo Alvarez, if he say like, oh, I would never lose to a black fighter. All right, he said he'd never lose to a black fighter. So let's find some black fighters that can beat him. That's all you do. See, what people not reading in between the lines, the underline between in this interview is that Pauli Malignaggi is basically he's basically putting himself and he's looking in the mirror when he make the statement saying, I don't know how to take it. That Devin Haney said he can't lose to a white boy, because that's saying that he won't lose to somebody like me. And I have an issue with that. So whether you understand it or not, whether he talking about he don't want to cause the divide, talking about racial issues, the reality is that it happens. It's very racist in what's going on. Just like the whole Tyson Fury situation. Nobody looked into it because the person that they wanted to win won. But Jermell Charlo, when they talked about that battle, it was instant investigation. Instant. So I'm a continue, because him making that statement just let me know that he also has a problem with it, because he's for European fighters, whether he's going to say it or not.
Demographics dominating one another, right? So like maybe like 100 years ago, maybe more like Irish fighters were better, and then you kind of had the Jews and the Italians kind of came in. They had a more dominant, Italian Americans anyway. And then I think the African American fighter became the most dominant fighter in the sport in maybe like the 70s, 80s, and even 90s, But I don't. So maybe if Devin would have said it then, but Devin wasn't around back then. I think maybe you had some white guys there, but you would have a mostly dominated sport. You'd say the dominant species in boxing was probably the African American in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I wouldn't say.
All right, so let's talk about that. See, here's where it's misleading. As long as black individuals have been boxing, they have always been the dominant group. Always. Even faced through death threats. Some had to take a dive. Some, you know, parents was being forced, you know, to do things in order to make sure, like, you know, being kidnapped in order to make sure that this fighter lose. You know what I'm saying? He had to take dives when he knew he was better than certain white individuals or whatever, certain demographics. This was part of the reason why they were losing. Now I'm gonna say Rocky Marciano went undefeated, 49-0, but he wasn't fighting the best competition. He didn't fight a person in their prime, a Joe Louis in his prime. He didn't fight none of them in their prime. I don't know. I can't recall when black individuals wasn't the dominant boxers. And I'm not saying nothing about the superiority. Like, you know, people want to say, oh, you know, black men think they the superior race. No, I'm coming with facts. Black people have always been the dominant boxers. And in that situation, you just had other European fighters who were good, but they wasn't the dominant. They wasn't in a group. It wasn't a bunch of them. It was not. But there always have been a plethora of black fighters that were dominant, even during the black murderous row situation, even with Muhammad Ali, even with Jack Johnson, even with Joe Louis, even though he lost to Rocky Marciano, even with, you know, fighters before that, they have always been the dominant one against all odds with threats, saying that if you beat this white man, we're gonna kill you. So it has been that deep. You feel what I'm saying? It has been that deep. So let's continue, man. I'm gonna finish playing the video.
And as I said, I mean, it kind of moved along. Before that, it was the Italians, the Jews. Before that, it was the Irish, whatever, you know. So I think it always moves along. And you know, you find your individual cases that are one in themselves, but I don't think it's great to have the race discussion because it's just going to create division. But if Devin's going to be the one to bring it up, I don't know if Devin got the memo, but it's no longer the time of the African American anymore in boxing. It's no longer the time of the African American anymore in boxing. It's the Eastern European that has become the dominant species in boxing. You know, so I think saying something like that could actually be very dangerous. Not to mention, I think him and Luke is a great fighter early, so I would love to see it. But you know, just like in the 70s and 80s and 90s, you probably were going to get your ass kicked by an African American fighter. Probably, if you were a fighter in those days. If you were in the time before that, you probably were going to get beat by an Italian or a Jewish fighter because over the time before that, I mean, you were probably going to get beaten by an Irish fighter. The dominant species was always going to win overall, you know. But I do think that at this point in this coming generation, everybody's going to get a chance to get their ass kicked by an Eastern European fighter. So I don't know that saying that putting it in that way is kind of doing justice to anything at all. And not to mention it probably creates a little bit of division, you know.
All right, so let me stop there.
I don't know.
All right, so he said all this talk is causing a division. When was there not division? Last time I checked, Abel Sanchez saying black fighters don't sell. Last time I checked, Mikey Garcia father said racial slurs. Last time I checked, Larry Merchant, Jim Lampley, they were racist, calling black people thugs and all this other stuff. So when has there never been a divide? Last time I checked, there's always been a divide. in boxing. Last time I checked, they said that boxing was very corrupt. Just like I can go back and look at the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury fight. Two situations where there's controversy and no one says anything. He knocks Fury out and he gets beat by Fury cheating. And you talking about the Europeans are now the dominant one. Okay, now let's name those Europeans. You say Tyson Fury, the drug cheat, and boxing cheat, dirty boxing, huh? You say Billy Joe Sanders, a drug cheat, two-time drug cheat, and a person that gave you a blueprint for hitting women. You talk about Canelo, a drug cheat, even though he's non-European, but he looks Irish. Huh? You talk about Golovkin, the person that they would not let Jamar Charlo or any dominant black fighter fight him, including Andre Ward. You talk about Kovalev, a person who said a bunch of racist things, huh? Who says all the racial things? The person who's supposed to be hitting women, like which I don't really get personal, but they always get personal into what Floyd Mayweather does. Talk about he hits women, but do you hear them say anything about him? Oh, are we talking about who else? Josh Taylor. I like Josh Taylor, but are we talking about Lomachenko, a person who has a loss? It showed you that he can be beat. We talk about Usyk, who's going to lose to any top heavyweight that's in the sport, huh? Those are the dominant ones. Because last time I checked, Devin Haney was trying to fight Lomachenko. Last time I checked, Terrence Crawford is trying to fight Josh Taylor. Last time I checked, who else? Well, Jeff Horn wasn't nobody. But last time I checked, Golovkin lost to Deverenchenko. Right? He's another European fighter, but he also lost to Danny Jacobs. He got cheated for that Triple G fight. Then let's talk about Canelo, who continued to lose but win because he's a cash cow. Let's talk about Kovalev, who got beat by Andre Ward, but they made 100 excuses for it. Let's talk about Usyk, who hasn't beat nobody. Nobody. Who has he beat? But they're giving this man all the praise in the world. And let's talk about Kalnaki. Well, he's Polish, but he's amongst them as well. Just got beat. And we talk about Tyson Fury, who really lost and got knocked out the first fight and cheated and got an advantage the second fight. Nobody had an uproar then. You talk about racial divide. There has been racial divides. There has been situations where there were double standards. And I just gave you a few, which you had Kovalev, who supposedly had beat on a woman, right? Though nobody talked about, but you got Floyd, everybody talks about, and you have no evidence whatsoever. Then we got Andre Ward versus Kovalev, where they talked about Andre Ward did so many illegal things, so many illegal blows, but said nothing about Tyson Fury. All right. So when you talk about double standards, don't want to cause racial divide, man, it's been there. You think because you're not talking about it that it's not there? We see it. Come on, man, we see it. All right, let's finish, man. Let's get back into this, man.
Maybe Devin didn't get the it's it shouldn't be about race. But if you're gonna bring it to race, right now there is no one better in boxing than the Europeans. And last time I checked, they were white. So it's if you're gonna go there, you have to kind of put it into proper context. Otherwise, probably leave it alone, which is probably the best thing to do is leave it alone. But we'll see. Like I said, we're going to talk about it in the context of which it is. I don't think he was talking about Lomachenko, because I don't think you'll find a person planet that wouldn't think Lomachenko to be hanging. But I do think Campbell and Haney is an interesting fight, and it's a step-up fight for Haney. It's a step-up fight for Haney, and then whether Hearn believes it's the right step up or not, it's time to step him up that much or not. Because I think Haney has not fought somebody on a level of Campbell or even close to it. So if you feel like it's time for Haney to step up to that point, then we're going to see it. If you don't feel like it's time for Haney to step up to that point, then it looks like Haney's own promoter may fear that a certain white guy might beat his guy. So Haney probably has to take it upon himself and back that up. But it's I guess he's got people talking, right? I mean, you called me about asking about it, so that's kind of my breakdown of it. But I think even Eastern Europeans are done with in boxing. I think everybody will get beat by Eastern Europeans. They have a career in the next 10, 15 years because the sport is saturated with Eastern Europeans, former Soviet fighters that are dominating the whole landscape of it, and will continue to do so. I think.
A lot of people want outright.
Again, what did he say that wasn't disrespectful, or what did he say that wasn't along the line that Devin Haney said? This is a European fighter. I mean, he's a European individual. So what did he say that Devin Haney did not say? Because Devin Haney said he wouldn't lose to a white dude, and Paul Malignaggi just basically said, "Ain't nobody being European." Where is the outcry for the statement that he just made? Because he talks about double standards, but this is one. He just talked about nobody being able to beat Eastern European fighters, and nobody is going to have any type of outcry, because you know why? Because the people that they want to be that elite are the people that's in charge. So anybody that goes against what everybody believes and what they've been trying to create, which is European dominance, which is not going to happen. And I guarantee you that they're going to keep ducking Devin Haney, and they're going to try to age Lomachenko out and not try to fight Devin Haney, just like they did Golovkin. Golovkin fought Canelo is about to be 3 times if he continue to, if they continue to want to fight each other. 3 times. Jamal Charlo ain't got 1 chance. Not one. Nobody pushed for that. Nobody pushed for European fighters to fight the best black individual, the best black fighters. They don't do that at all. You feel what I'm saying? So for this person to sit there and try to say that these Europeans, you know what I'm saying, can't be beat, is no different than saying a white man can't beat me. It's no different. The only difference is this time a white person is saying that can't nobody beat the Europeans versus Devin Haney saying that ain't no white boy beating him, and he just so happen to be black. So it's always a good topic when a black person says something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always a good topic. You feel me? So I mean, it is what it is, man. Pauli Malignaggi basically he displayed the double standard that he was talking about. Because a lot of people would say that, look, Paul, you're you're not like you're not being racist. Nobody gonna tell no, is gonna tell him that. And if he say something racial, nobody's gonna have this outcry. You know how I know? Because like I said, Mikey Garcia daddy and them did it. Other people have did it, and there was no big outroar, no outcry. And the whole thing is they want Devin Haney to be submissive to, saying those type of things. Nah, bro, keep saying it because you have Mayweather who always say, "Ain't nobody beat me, ain't nobody beat me, ain't nobody beat me." And so long as you put that in your head, guess what? And you work hard, nobody is going to beat you. So continue. If you think no white boy is going to beat you, nobody, of a European descent is going to beat you. No other ethnicity is going to beat you. No Pacquiao, nobody else is going to beat you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Because that's self-belief. It's not, it's not racial. He didn't say, I can't stand white boys, I hate white boys. And then here's the thing that kills me. When people talk about racism, I don't remember a bunch of white people dying behind black individuals um, not liking them. But I can recall a bunch of black individuals dying behind white people not liking them. So until there's some type of massacre or anything, amongst Europeans and all this stuff, like it's not the same. It's not the same at all. You feel what I'm saying? But I will say this: hatred is hatred, man. I have friends, all walks of life, beautiful people. I like them all. But at the end of the day, I love my people, and we don't get enough love, so I have to display that love. You feel what I'm saying? So it doesn't mean that I dislike anybody else. It just means that I'm prideful in my own culture. You feel me? And I believe in myself. And no white person gonna beat me. But let's finish hearing what he had to say, and then I'm gonna close it out.
And use the argument if a white fighter had said that about a black fighter, that I'll never lose to a black boy, that it'd be, we'd be just outright calling them racist, and the reaction would be much bigger.
Of course. That's why I kind of try not to join into the race conversations, is because this is one of the exact examples of why I don't believe there is racial oppression in 2020 in this century. I believe there has been, sure, but I don't believe there's any racial oppression today. I believe it's all made up, and I believe it's exaggerated. And this is exactly one of the reasons why. The fact that a black fighter can say that and not pay any price financially, but if a white fighter said that about a black fighter or any black fighters at all, he'd probably lose his TV contract, and probably TV networks wouldn't touch him. So I won't tell you that it's a double standard, but I'll tell you that it's probably. But I'll tell you that it does prove that the entire the whole hypothesis of racial oppression is way above and exaggerated in this century. I don't think this century has given us anything aside from what we want to nitpick individual situations. You might want to nitpick.
Moving on from this topic.
Okay, so I'm gonna just break this down just a little bit. So basically what he's saying is that black people can say and do whatever they want, right? And that they just want to complain. And there's no real reason behind the suffering of the black culture, right? The reason why that there's racial divide is because basically black people want to keep it going because ain't nothing wrong with them. I guess the fact that they're getting denied home loans, the fact that there was no reparation paid, the fact that black individuals got to start from ground zero, uh, the fact that they're being targeted, the mass incarceration, that's just all made up. It's just in our imagination. There's no oppression. There's no nothing that's hindering black fighters. There's all fairness. Tyson Fury got investigated just like they investigated Charlo instantaneously. He got investigated just like those gloves, just like Ernesto, instantaneously. So you saying that there is no racism in the 20th century, but then you can turn on any TV station and you can turn on any news station, and I guarantee you'll see some black individuals that either passed away through the hands of police, that that was suffering, unarmed, somebody convicted, all these type of things, right? But that's no longer happening. None. That's not happening at all. You know, because we basically made all that stuff up. Black individuals made all that stuff up because Pauli Malignaggi don't go through the same thing as Errol Spence. Pauli Malignaggi can do something and then get brushed under the rug, but Errol Spence can be in a car accident and get drugged and end up in jail, incarcerated, because they looking deeper into, the car accident because it's fair. And oppression, people just going to jail just because they want to. People just selling drugs just because they want to. They don't have to sell drugs, even though nobody will hire them. Nobody, you know, it's all they're doing. Even though they don't have any jobs, they can't get a loan to start a business. It's their fault. But you got a loan to start a business. But I'm successful because I tried. And you got that student loan too, didn't you? I mean, not the student loan, but you got that business loan too. I didn't get the business loan. So therefore, you had a fair advantage that I had. But I'm not being oppressed because you got the loan and I didn't, even though I'm way more qualified. My business has been way more credible than yours. Even though the little loans that I did get, I didn't forfeit on. I made my just due. You feel what I'm saying? It don't matter. You feel what I'm saying? He can say whatever he want, but the system is still in place. So 20th century, 850,000 century, it don't matter. You feel what I'm saying? Because the system is the way it is, and then you got people in there. You can't tell me like the Larry Merchants isn't racist. People that's calling the fights, the Harold Lettermans and all them, that they're not racist. The judges possibly, giving other fighters, the win, just like they did Canelo versus Mayweather. They gave Canelo a split decision instead of a unanimous decision. Even though Floyd Mayweather won, but they found a way to give him some type of draw, even though he lost every round. That's what he dealt with. Last time I checked, that was somewhat oppression. And then you talk about double standards. You displayed a lot of double standards. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got for now, man. This your guy, Ken the Guru, man. Make sure I told y'all I'm trying to do a little more lives, man. Make sure that y'all come into the chat and grow with me. Also, my round for round is getting ready to come out, man. Make sure y'all check that out when it comes out, man, because that's gonna be fire. I'm just basically giving my analysis on the fight round by round. Therefore, once I tally it up, I'm not keeping track of who like who's winning how many rounds at who I believe won the fight because I think this person did more. Nah, I'm going round by round. and I'm giving y'all my personal opinion, and then I will tally it all up at the end and give y'all my perspective. Also, make sure you guys go to TOV Sports and subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't already. That's our media partners. You know, they do a very good job, getting this stuff out, the content out, and, just continue to grow with us. But that's all I got for now. I'm out.
Pauli, Deontay Wilder